So 10-minute soapboxes. Now everybody knows how this works. For those that don't, it's 10 minutes. And if you go over 10 minutes, Matt will throw you off. Okay, you're closer. Right, so I just want to give you a quick overview of the project. So Steve's going to come on in a second. We're going to hear from Aid. Where's Aid? Oh, he's there. Talk about safety. I'm not going to talk about smart contracts today. I'm going to leave that till later. New projects. We've heard about net zero. We've heard about modular. Coming soon, underground assets. I'm in discussion about that. It's on the table. It's a proposal. And then we've got National Digital Twin. Now, Ian, who can't be here today, has done a video, and it's a bit further on in the presentation. But what I will say is the projects are the lifeblood of COMIT. COMIT itself was a project in 2003. It was government funded. And when the project finished, the members elected to take it on and run it as an organisation. There's many organisations have done projects with COMIT and have become entities in their own rights. Some of them are still engaged with COMIT. So, I want to give you an example of one project. Oh, it's gone into a fancy transition. Wow. So, Commit to Drones was a project and is now an operation in its own right. So, we have a drone community, and the drone community met. Oh, wait a minute. It met on Tuesday of this week at Sellafield. Sellafield are one of the members, and it was at their Engineering Centre of Excellence. They had a UAV. Oh, it's gone forward. Sorry. I don't know why it's done that. Go back. Go back. Go back. I'm hoping if I push a button and talk to it, it will work, but it's not doing either. So anyway, they had a session this week at Sellafield, and it was incredibly well attended. Some great sessions shown. Yeah, Commit to Drones. It's a project that turned into a community. It's got its own following. They have their own website. So the next one I want to talk about is the Commit to 5G, and I'm not going to talk about it. Steve's going to talk about it, so I'm going to hand it over to Steve.
Okay, thanks, Stuart. And just a bit of an update. I think most people here have attended before, but for those that don't, we've been doing we've been formulating a 5G project team. So currently we've got myself from Waits, we've got Stephen Muldownley from EMS, and we've got Ant Morse from Virgin Media O2 as part of the project. What we're planning on doing with this project is not only looking at the obvious things, which is the connectivity to the site, but also across the site, and then also what we can exploit from that connectivity. So we'll be looking at all the applications that we can do. What can we benefit, and I'll go into the three phases. We're breaking it down because it's a massive thing that we can achieve with 5G, but we obviously need to make sure that we make sure it's achievable, and we've kind of got three phases into it. Now, we gave a webinar on the 15th of July this year, and it was really well attended. We had a good panel and good interactivity, and it went really well. We got a lot of engagement, and we've got quite a bit of follow-up at the moment. So where we are in the project at the moment is engaging with interested parties. So there's still time. If anybody wants to be part of the project, you can contact me or Stuart, and we'll put you down as part of it. And just as a bit of a recap, these are the phases that we're kind of looking at as part of the project. The first phase we're looking at, and we're planning on starting this in the first quarter of 2023. So latter end this year, we'll be building the project, roles and responsibilities, all the usual things, lining people up, etc., sites for testing. So the idea is that in phase one, we're going to have a pop-up site. We're going to be looking at the rapid site to this rapid connectivity to the site, and then also across the site as well. So we get some quite large sites. We can be doing some civils, and it could be the length of a stretch of road or what have you. So yeah, when you're trying to get connectivity across the site, then that can be a bit of a challenge when using traditional methods. So 5G could play a real a real good part there. Then in phase 2, 3 and 4, we're looking then at the applications of that. So how can we keep on programme? How can we know where the materials are? We talked today about RFID and QR codes and what have you. So exploring how we can use that technology as well. And then I think everybody puts safety first. I know it's on the weights agenda as the top item. We heard just before or just after lunch how important this is. So that's pretty much a summary of kind of what the project entails. But like I said, if you do want to get involved, please talk to me. My email address is there, or Stuart, and we'll see if we can get things lined up and get you included in the project. That's it for me. Thank you.
Okay, so next slide. Right. So this is something that came from one of the COMIT participants, members, the MOD. This is a mouthful. Expeditionary Robotics Centre of Excellence, ERCOE. So the scenario is this: an extreme weather event has hit the British overseas territory. Emergency teams working alongside military personnel are preparing to deploy their robot dogs, but have limited information on the state of the infrastructure in the territory. There is a high probability that buildings have collapsed and that the utilities on which the population rely have been damaged by extreme weather. So what we're looking for, COMIT's been asked to get involved in this and reach out to the COMIT community. We're looking for solutions that can map, process and then visualize 3D data in the Unity game engine. These solutions might be mapping hardware, which might be airborne or mountable on a dog, point cloud or photogrammetry processing, or enable visualization in the Unity game. Other applications built in the game engine world may also be of interest. So where am I going with this? Okay. Do you have a solution? If you do, reach out to me. But we'll be looking. Oh, it's done it again. I didn't touch it. It just advanced on its own. Honestly, not me. We're looking at getting involved with the MOD's Battle Lab, 20th to 24th of March next year. So reach out and I will guide you. Okay, so next project. Aid, where are you? There you are. You have 10 minutes.
I have 10 minutes. I've got. Thank you, Matt. I really appreciate it. So I'm AD Walter. I'm the head of UK for Seamfix. I've been at the company, started in January this year. I think I met Stuart around about March timeframe. So we've just launched a Commit to Safety project. It's not been so long, probably 5 or 6 weeks since a few of us leaders have got together and we've started to talk about technology. But the good news is we've got our strapline, and that normally takes the first 4 weeks, doesn't it? Just to agree that we are going to promote a safe system of work. We're going to improve workforce safety, health and well-being. So you would have seen the links to that with Nathan from the Institute of Occupational Medicine presenting at lunchtime today. So we can implement innovative technology. So that's the way that we're going to work as a group. What I'm going to do is now get into the why. So the question is, why would a software platform company that does digital identity, that does biometrics, that does blockchain, that's working with occupational health to thread credentials from occupational health through to construction and other industries? Why would that company work with a company that looks at the inner ear, that takes physical impressions of the ear and creates a really, really cool inner ear protector to protect from noise on construction sites? Why would they work with a company that looks at the prefrontal cortex of the brain, the part of your brain that actually maps your behaviour as a person, when you've got stress levels or when you've got tiredness, and build a product around. Why would these three companies come together? There's a couple of answers to that question. The first is COMIT. The first is because actually none of us knew each other up until a couple of months ago. Now we know each other quite well. We have our Wednesday meetings, and what we're doing now is thinking about it as a portfolio. So we think about it as a portfolio of products that's coming together that all have a common vision. And the good news about that is for the main contractors and for the subcontractors, we can start to talk as one voice. So I managed to present one slide earlier this week to the Costain team, just talking about the concept of commit to safety, how we can come together. Now, if we do our job well, that will turn around the other way, and they will come to us and they will say, these are the projects that we want you to solve for us, knowing that individually we might have some of the technologies, but we may not have all of the technologies. So we'll be able to have the collection of technologies where we can solve problems together. So that's almost like the genesis of how we're coming together as a commit to safety team. It's great fun, working with other technophiles, other innovators in the industry. You're only going to see three there. You can't believe how many there will be across a whole industry. And we have obviously some simple commit rules, as always. You have to participate. You can't be too passive. You have to be involved. Great to chat with Tommy at lunchtime. Be great to get you guys involved as well. You sound like you've got the exact right energy to be involved in this project as well. So we've got our charter. We're just building our objectives out at the moment. We're not too far along. We'll talk about that. So I asked a question. The second answer to that question is to do with, we've lost a slide, is to do with how we connect the people with the health, with the safety and the environment. How we put those all together. We've got people at the core. This is a good friend of mine, Eddie Koike, runs Dutch Eddie, as he's known within the industry. He runs an occupational health company. He does the traditional things in terms of the safety critical medicals. He also does health surveillance. He also does management referrals. He also does wellness days. But when you look at how he leads, right now he's standing at the NEC. He's at UK Construction Week with his stand, and you see he says health is the first step towards safety. So what we have to do in terms of when we build this portfolio, the theme that you saw a lot today, certainly with people like Tommy and that, as they presented, they're putting people at the core and they're looking at the change management and the behaviour as much as the technology itself. You also saw on another slide, people, process, technology. I don't know if people remember that, but that is always the right order in terms of implementing technology into the industry. So we've formed, we're looking for participants, we're looking to grow the community. And what we'd also do is we'd be giving everyone a certified fit. So this is Nathan's. We gave this to him, yes, in terms of him being certified fit for the commit to safety team. Obviously, that's what we do, COMIT, in terms of the credentials. But we're looking for more people that we can certify fit for the commit to safety group. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. So the next, you've got that on the screen, we have you. So Ian, who usually stands in the position I'm in, is organising a conference next year, 31st of May, 1st of June, and without further ado, if I hit the next button here, it'll play, and Ian will tell us all about it. He'll tell us all about it. He's going to tell us all about it. No, he's not. Come on, this worked 20 minutes ago.
Good afternoon, all.
There he is.
Hope you've had an interesting, informative day at this COMIT community event, and I'm sorry I could not make it to be with you at this time. I wanted to talk to you about next year's conference, which is going to be held between the 31st of May and the 1st of June next year in London, and it's themed around how you will interact with a national digital twin. Now, as a bit of background, in 2017, the National Infrastructure Commission of the UK government published a paper on the use of data for the public good. Its research and findings stated that the full potential of digital twins will only come when we start deriving greater benefits from individual digital twins, and most importantly, for UK public investment. And also through linking multiple digital twins to bring greater understanding of their interactions between the physical counterparts. We can't just view all our assets physically or digitally in isolation, because they are a system of systems that support our society, our economy and our environment. So a national digital twin brings together the digital twins from across all sectors and domains so that the impacts and relationships between them can be better understood, and that they can be optimized to work together for a better future. This also helps in modelling asset failures and degradation in regards to national resilience. But this, of course, comes with a requirement for greater interoperability, for security and veracity of all the information shared. It's, of course, not a single unwieldy database of information, but it is a trusted lightweight circuit board that all digital twins, whatever shape or form that they come in, can be plugged into so that we can interrogate, visualize, simulate and optimize them all in relation to each other. This, of course, doesn't just apply to buildings and facilities, but crosses into domains of carbon, people, events and live conditions from around the national regions, all of which, of course, have an impact on and feel the impact of what is happening on everything around them. So it's not just about the national digital twin, but it's also about understanding when it's appropriate and cost effective to create a normal digital twin, because these cost money to create, manage, store and maintain, and there needs to be a value proposition in each one. Creating that baseline circuit board can help to understand which assets are critical and what information has a value to both the owner and other organisations. This priority list will help owners already under financial pressures to assess where they need to invest. It also helps us to identify, verify and validate the information in each of those digital twins when combined with external data gathered from both open and closed sources. Identifying the gaps in the assets, processes and systems twinned in the digital and the physical worlds. Some of the external data will be specified through government policy and strategy so that key performance indicators can be monitored in each individual digital twin to ensure national strategy is on course. This multi-domain, multi-sector information, coupled with the ability to understand the impacts of each asset on the other assets, allows us to interrogate, simulate and visualize the bigger picture. And this capability to test and refine whilst informing policy, planning and operational decisions on a national level will have a significant impact on our country in areas such as resilience, budget, the environment and overall our society. This, of course, needs to be bounded by strong ethical, security-minded, legal, regulatory and commercial considerations and frameworks to ensure that it works for everyone. So what I will want for you, the conference this year is going to be around how you interact with that digital twin. If you're a technology company, it could be about how you capture, transmit or help people to consume information. If you're a contractor or a temporary works consultant or provider or a consultant in construction, building, design, it could be about how your site, how your building, how your work, how your planning could be plugged into that circuit board to understand the impacts and relationships. It could be around what information that you produce that could be valuable to others and what others produce that could be valuable to you. And we're looking for presentations, panel sessions and sponsors to help us to deliver this. So it could be couple of examples, perhaps, that you create sensors that could add value on a national level. You could create visualization tools that help people to make decisions faster and more accurately. You could have automated data capture techniques that will help monitor conditions, whether that's conditions as in weather conditions or whether it's conditions of your assets themselves, connections and interdependencies that will help us to make better decisions on our assets. It could be about your construction project, when you're planning that, how that interacts and impacts on the infrastructure and the society around it, and how the society will impact on your construction project. It might be that in a disaster scenario that you have equipment, materials or skills that could be put to good use, and if they are made available on that circuit board when that disaster happens, people can plan and work around that to help to make us more resilient. It could be down to the carbon footprint, that we're taking information from each of your scope 1, 2 and 3s to be able to better understand your true carbon footprint if you're heading towards net zero. It could just be about what information could you offer a national digital twin, and what information would you hope that it would offer to you that could be of value. So next year's conference, it's there. I highly recommend that if you're not sure how you could interact or how you could do something for the conference, to get in contact with me, and we can have a chat, and I'm sure we can find a way that you can add value in your presentation, or perhaps by sponsoring the conference, or by getting involved in a panel session. Love to hear from you, and have a safe journey back. Thank you. Good afternoon, all.
Okay, so I'm gonna close out now. I've got another session which I'm not going to present. I'm going to share that in a video as well, which is the automation AI in carbon. But what I will do is I've got a series of thank yous to do. And before I get to that, one or two of you, I think still here. Kieran, you're still here. Did you want to say anything on behalf of Siemens? Do you have any? You're okay. Okay, well that's fine. You don't know. I know you mentioned something earlier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say thank you to firstly, foremost, to the Niftylift team. I think Roger, Simon, Tom, and the team, excellent job. Thank you. I think the next few events are going to take. They're going to have to. There's a lot to do to live up to this, because it was just phenomenal. From what I've heard of the factory tour, it was incredible. People riding in the 28-meter boom. Wow. Unbelievable. Thank you very much. So I can have a round of applause for the Niftylift team. Thank you. Brilliant. And what a wonderful lunch. Also for the theatre and AV team, thank you. Lewis, thank you. The catering team, brilliant. I'd like to say thank you to the Sunbelt team. Thanks to Matt. You did an excellent job on the timer. You didn't throw anybody off the stage though, did you? Because you didn't need to. I'd like to say thank you to our fabulous speakers, for the panellists, to Shell, Hexagon, Mark and Dave had some input, and then we had David and Mark present. Thank you. Mentioned the sound recording. Max, thank you for... Max still here? Max, there you are. Thanks for... I know it's not happened yet, but thank you. Really appreciate it. Matt. And I want to say thank you very much now to Jerry for helping with the planning, and Ian. I know he's going to watch the video afterwards, so got to get this in. And thanks to Glyn, even though Glyn's not here. We met every week for the last, I don't know, Simon, how many weeks did we start? It was a while. Yeah. So Matt, you get two thank yous there. In fact, you got three, because you got one at the beginning. So thank you everybody, and thank you all for coming. One more announcement I've got to make, and there's a QR code on there. This is a webinar as you've heard earlier, we've done a lot of webinars in the last 2.5 years. We didn't start doing webinars during lockdown. We started it a long time before, but they were few and far between. But when lockdown came, it was our only source of connection with the community. So we started doing them every week, and then as the pressure grew, we went 2 weeks, and we've probably settled on somewhere between 2 and 4 weeks. We have done an awful lot of webinars. What I will say is, if you've got a webinar subject and you'd like it to be broadcast to what has turned out to be an enormous database worldwide, please get in touch. It's a very friendly atmosphere. We call it the Commit Happy Hour, so you turn up with a drink, whatever that is. It's a relaxed atmosphere, and I'd encourage you to have a look at some of the past ones that we've done, get a panel, clients, potential clients, and get involved. So the next one we've got is on the 14th of October, so that's next week Friday, and you can see the people involved in that. And the question is, what has building things right ever done for us? Thought that was thought-provoking. Wasn't my statement, but some more events for you for next year. So the pictures you see are the previous events that we've had. I don't know where the JCB one's there. 9th or 16th of March. We're still looking at the location for that. If anybody's got a suggestion, then I'd love to hear from you. Ian mentioned the conference, Central London, 31st of May, 1st of June. That's Waterloo. And 14th or 21st of September. There's somebody in the frame for that, but it's not finalised. And then the final one for next year is the 30th of November, and that's IFS Staines. I know that some of you have been there before. I know that's a fabulous venue. So that's it. So before I get onto the next slide, has anybody got anything to say before we close out? We finished early, by the way. Jerry, you got anything to say? Max has got something to say. Come on, Max.
Oh, yeah, it's alive. Happy days. So, many thanks for people's interest in deputy chair positions. I've had 2 for the tech position. Thank you very much. People have also been interested in the construction position. More the merrier. So, if you are interested, please do reach out to either myself or Steve. If you can't find us, we're all over LinkedIn, and you've always got Stuart's contact details, so you can pester him too. Many thanks.
Thanks, Max. So without further ado, I'll say thanks to the membership for the support in attending the events, travelling, taking time out of your agendas, and coming along and supporting what Commit does. As I said earlier, the projects that we do, the lifeblood of Commit, people get a lot from them. If you want to get involved, please do reach out to me. But safe journey home. See you on the next webinar next week if you are able to join, or we'll see you in March. Thank you very much.